So we're back in the shop working on the square body. We've got the wiring harness sort of fished through the firewall. Pulled the interior out because I don't know if from the walk around video if you remember seeing they're actually a Volkswagen seat in here. And yeah, ugly, they didn't work. I'd like to find another bench seat to go back in it. We have that hole to patch. We have some rust holes to patch. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is just order a full floor and then just cut the pieces out of the full floor that I need, because there's actually kind of a soft spot over here too. Yeah. And then I went and fished this out, so I'm hoping I can make this drive shaft work. This is actually out of if you go back in the videos, it's out of the big dually that I put a diesel into. It was actually started life as a 2002 gas 1 ton with a 6 liter and a 4L80, and so this is the original drive shaft out of that. And so I'm hoping the yoke is the same. I from what I think I have read and all that stuff, it's should be the same as the Turbo 400, which in turn the Turbo 400 is the same as the 6L80. So I guess we'll find out. And not only that, it being a 2-piece drive shaft, because we need a 2-piece for the length we're running, I prefer a 2-piece. So this gives us more slip here, and that probably won't slide at all, so won't really have to worry about that. Well, it will slide very little. And worst is if it's too long, you can just take and get this side shortened as opposed to getting a whole new drive shaft built. So it should be quite a bit cheaper, because from what I heard, the drive shafts are about probably $1,000 to get built for this thing. So I think we'll try to do it the cheap way, and not only that, use up some of the spare parts we got laying around. Make it worth being a pack rat. So the first task is we got to get the yoke cleaned up because it's rusty, because of course it's been sitting outside. Gotta get that cleaned up, that part cleaned up. The splines are pretty clean because they were covered with a rubber boot, the slip splines there, so get it cleaned up, and hopefully the length is pretty close. I don't think this will be the right size U-joint. I'm missing the caps anyway, so probably gonna have to get a conversion U-joint if this drive shaft does work. But yeah, get after it here. So this drive shaft is up into place. I left the rubber boot off there so we can see how much slip we have. It's too long, so we'll have to take it in and get it shortened, but that's okay. That saves quite a bit of money, that even going up into place like that. So yeah, that's pretty sweet. On to the next thing. So I'm working on now is I'm just putting fresh loom on all the harnessing that I can. I'm going to leave it open up there where the wiring comes through the firewall, just because that way there's a couple wires I still got to tap into things, like a battery positive, a ground, and an ignition source for a couple different things. So yeah, but I've got the transmission wiring harness all loomed, and it's ran down to the transmission. So now I'm just doing the O2 sensors, and then after that I'll probably put the starter in and work on doing the starter wiring, and maybe get some battery cables ran, all the fun but boring wiring. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep going after it. I'm not gonna video it because who wants to see her and watch somebody loom wire. So I'm still having fun wiring. I've got the O2 sensors down, pigtails plugged in. There's a bunch of excess wiring over there that I'm probably just gonna try shoving back into the cab, so it's inside the cab where you can't see it. And this wire, this is the last one I'm looming at for now, and this is the starter excite wire, and then the power to the square body fuse box, which normally goes to the starter. And so we're just gonna put it back there. And this is a square body Excite wire. So yeah, it should have it heat taped, but I don't have any right now, so yeah, I'll have to do that at a later date. We're ways away from having it running to generate any heat anyway, so I just want power to everything to try to get it to where I can communicate with the computer, so we can get it programmed and all that fun stuff. I just keep one by one getting each system working. Yeah, so I'm going to carry on with this boring wiring. So after hours of work, this is whereabouts I am. Wiring takes forever. I've got the wires at the back, they'll be hidden by the intake, so that'll be nice. I used the factory little block up here that the wiring from the fuse box here goes to, and then goes down to the starter. I moved it down in behind there, and I used half of it for ignition. So I've got the small side is ignition, and this side is constant power. So like this is constant power down in the transmission, this is ignition of the transmission, and then this is for the O2 sensors, the ignition voltage for them. I've got some more tidying, obviously, of wiring. That never ends. It's a little bit of a mess over here. This is the pink ignition wire that runs over and feeds all of that, because it's the big one. It's also fused here, so gotta watch that. I'm trying to take the time and make this wiring as neat as I can, because I never did on the last one I did. I just ran the factory harness, which, as you know, has the big ugly harness that runs up and over the top of the intake. I'm trying to make this all kind of tucked behind so that it's hidden. But it takes a lot more time, that's for sure. And this truck, it's funny because this truck isn't even that nice to be doing it on, but it's all just practice. You can see the shiny header poking down there. It was nice to also get, I had to play with some wiring in here. I was able to get the scanner to communicate with the PCM. I had to do a little bit of switching around, so when I added my transmission harness, which is these wires here, that goes to the transmission harness, I unhooked the data high and low signal that goes to your ODA2 port. So I had to tag those in to the data lines that went to the transmission, which is okay, whatever, it works. It will scan the truck. It won't auto ID it, it only gives partial VIN, but I think that's just because we're only communicating with the PCM. Or it gets the whole VIN, but it only does like a partial auto ID. I have to go in there and select the model and the engine. That's okay, it's working. I can read codes, all that stuff, which means it should be able to program the VATs out of it. So yeah, pretty pumped, making some headway. It's very slow, very slow. There's a lot of work, like that hacked out transmission tunnel that they did to do put the SM 465 in here. So yeah, get to hack that out some more. Like, I probably will do a complete floor, buy a complete floor and just cut the pieces I need. In turn, it's going to end up, this cab isn't going to be forever. As you see over there, there's a hole. There's a lot of repair to this cab. So eventually, what I'd like to do is use this chassis, the 6.2 and all that stuff, for my 87 Wrangler. And then take parts from this and parts from another one and build another square body Chevy, a short box. But yeah, long ways away. Right now we're just trying to get something that we can drive this next summer. Still gotta mess with the pedal. Everywhere you look, it's just more and more work. Like, we'll put some work into this truck, try to get the interior pieces all together and everything. because we can only switch that all over to the other cab. Like, it'd be nice to get one of those new dash pad. They make some nice ones from companies in the States. Some new door panels because they're hacked. They've been cut for speakers and that kind of stuff. And it's missing part of it. So, which I don't know if the reproduction door panels come with that. Might have to find one. But like the window, like they've done some. It's almost like a 16-year-old kid owned it, which was before the guy that I got it from. But you look at the windshield, right? Like, it's just, that's all spray tint. It's not even actual tint. So yeah, just keep playing with it. That's probably gonna be it for this video, because it's gonna be a short video too, because nobody wants to sit here and watch somebody do some wiring. But just figured I'd keep you updated with what I'm doing. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking in with it being such boring stuff that we're doing, but yeah, it'll be nice to hear this thing finally run one of these days. Next step is probably getting the computer programmed, and let's start working on the fuel system. We played with the drive shaft a little bit. We got some ideas with where I got to go with certain things. There's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun, and it will be worth it when this thing is running and driving. The end goal is actually to be able to put it in a parade, kind of parade car show thing this summer with my kid. So that's kind of the end goal of where it's going. Ain't gonna be perfect. Hopefully by then we have it sitting lower, and maybe a cowl hood or something on it. Yeah, I'll show you real quick what I'm doing with what I plan to do with the shifter. So this is a factory shifter cable out of the 2012 Denali. I think I'm gonna try making it work onto that piece right there. That is a factory shifter, and it runs down to the transmission. It's gonna be too long probably, but that's okay, because I think with how this works is it actually works backwards from the newer transmission. So I think I've got to come on the other side of this, either that or change the background at the bottom to make it like pull on the transmission, which I don't know how I would do that because it's such a short distance between here and there. But either way, try figuring it out. Either that or I know you can get maybe a column out of a 90s Chevy. I think it switches this piece to over here. I'm not even sure 90 Chevy or if it's the late square bodies, but either way, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Power steering, I still don't know what I'm really gonna do. I've got to do some more research on that. The last one I had was it was actually a 1-ton truck. The last one I did, and so I utilized the Hydro Boost, but this one we're gonna get rid of that and just put a vacuum booster on there. So, and it was nice because the other one with the Hydro Boost, it was all just factory lines. I used a mixture of factory lines between getting them for the 86. That was actually an 86 or 85 as well, and out of the 2002 Chevy that the engine actually had come out of, right? So this one I gotta do a little more research. It's a little different. I could do either. It really doesn't matter. Like, I was talking with my uncle, and he's actually a journeyman mechanic, and the camshaft I want to put in this, it really doesn't matter if I have a vacuum boost or a Hydro Boost. I think just the Hydro Boost cleaned up, they look nicer, but I think the vacuum booster is just they're cheaper, and the parts for them are cheaper. Like, if it comes to like the lines and stuff, because there's less lines. And the intake, because I'm going to use the factory intake, there's more torque with the factory intake. They look ugly, but maybe there's an aftermarket cover or something we can get that, or try to get somebody to build one out of aluminum or something that makes them look good, because you lose quite a bit of torque from switching out the factory intake. This is the vacuum booster line. So it has that already. So we'll probably just use these. And I know guys have knocked this shit off the ribbing off, but I still didn't like how they looked. So these truck intakes are supposed to be one of the better ones to have. Supposedly, they have more torque. So we'll see what we can do. There's lots to figure out and lots to play with yet, but we're getting through it one step at a time. So that's going to be it for this video. So thanks for watching, and hope you guys had a good Christmas. Bye.